Hi, I'm Lucky Gnome. Today I want to talk about the concept that constantly gets forgotten when people talk about improvement and climbing in solo queue. The last time I encountered this concept was 5 years old video from YouTuber Fi. I believe him mentioning this concept helped me to reach Diamond Elo as a mid laner for the first time in my life back in Season 7. Unfortunately, after I swapped to ADC role, I forgot about it. However, recently I rediscovered it for myself and I want to share it with you. By the way, there will be a few examples from a support and jungle perspective. Don't think about roles too much. This concept is essential for everyone. So, let me start from the beginning. I never liked to play on my main account during the first months of the season. Usually, I play on the second account, but this year I went further. I decided to dedicate a whole January to the support and jungle roles. These are the two roles with which I never achieved Diamond Elo. This month we also had a Clash tournament, which I was lucky to play with a group of Masters Plus players. In this tournament, for the first time in a long time, I confronted the idea of being first to the play. Sadly, Riot patched League of Legends, so I can't show you the replay. Instead, I will use a Rift kit to illustrate the situation. We are on the blue side and we are in a 3v5 situation. I'm playing as Leona support and we have a little bit of vision. Jungler made a call to start a dragon, to which I replied that we shouldn't do it, since we are in a 3v5. Later, my team explained that because we were first to play, my ADC could have started the dragon, while I would have stood in the pixel bush. If opposing ADC would have first-checked me, I could have engaged at him and forced a 3v2 fight that we would have won. After that, we could have retreated or started a 3v3. Back then, I thought that this was a niche situation that would never occur again. I was wrong. A week later, I was googling for some tips on how to climb in solo queue as support. That was when I found the comment made by Europe's best challenger support player, Raisins. I will read out loud the most pivotal part of it. If I'm being honest, most good high elo players can climb through low elos easily just by being in the right place at the right time. This idea somehow clicked with me, so I immediately went to play solo queue. As you can see in the background, I played AP Shyvana jungle against AD Shaco. I could have blamed the fact that I had a team full of gold players against a team full of platinum players, or the fact that my top laner lost his lane purely in a 1v1. However, the reality is that I had winning bot lane and my mid lane did fine. I was the one who should have created the difference and wasn't able to do it. It was sad to lose the game, but the following replay analysis brought me the aha moment that inspired me to do this video. Let me show you two situations from that game. Alright, so the first situation. I've got a Rift Herald coming up in 22 seconds. What do I need in order to take this Herald? Well, I need Prio in mid lane and I need Prio in a top lane. What does it mean? It means I want my lanes to be pushed like they are right now in the mid lane. But unfortunately, my top lane is being pushed under his tower, which is not what I want. So, replay analysis tells me that right now I should have went bot and ganked Camilla. Now, it is very unlikely that I would have killed her, because she's got hookshot, plus she's got a pink ward, but even if I just shot on a pink ward and moved into her, she would have been forced to back off, which would have let Garen get this wave and get the next wave, so he would have naturally pushed the wave and I would have had a Prio in a top lane. In the mid lane, as we see, the lane is already pushed, and in general, gun playing against melee champions, he can push whenever he like. So let's see what I do. I run into a river for whatever reason, and then I decide, well, I don't have Prio in the top lane, I have a Prio in the mid lane, but the waves will be in a neutral position right now. So I decided with my, ADC brain, not the jungle brain, that I can do the most efficient thing that is possible to do in this situation, which is to farm my camps and then move to Rift Herald. But as you just heard, I emphasized that it is my ADC brain that is focused on farming and scaling, not the jungle brain that I should have used. And the jungle brain says that rather than farming 3 camps, it is better to have good lane states and use them to secure objectives. Interestingly enough, this is exactly what Shaco is doing. I don't know if it was intentional or unintentional. He ganks mid lane. He obviously doesn't kill him. He burns the flash from Gangplank, doesn't really matter. The most important thing for him is that Akali can shelter wave right now, so she will have a prior. That means that she will be able to move to a play which is a Herald first. In the top lane, Garen somehow is getting the push, but he can't really move here, because when he tries to do it, he's forced to go through a terrain where he has no vision. Now I stick to my plan. I clear my camps. Let's speed up a little bit. I clear my camps and ping my teammates to come here. As I said, Garen can't really run right here, because Camille is kind of stronger than him right now. So she just ambushes him from a no vision, chunks him almost to 50% HP, which forces Garen to walk all the way around the corner, which is too long. Plus, as I said, Shaco's gank created a priority in the mid lane. So, as you can see, when I'm trying to contest Rift Herald, opponents have an ability to be the first on a play. Camille is almost here, Akali is almost here, Garen also is coming, but he's a little bit later than his counterparts. So I obviously die right here. Now you can technically say that I've mechanically misplaced this situation, right? I could have transformed into a dragon form and then used my E, and I would have probably been able to kill Shaco and kill the Rift Herald, but that's besides the point. Like, all of this is happening only because they have no vision right here before they start the Rift Herald. The real problem here is that I didn't gank top lane and didn't create a priority for myself. So as you can see, exactly what I wanted to happen, but for my team is happening to me. Mid and top are already here, opponents are getting objective, and they are killing a jungler that is trying to contest this objective. I will show the situation to you once more. So if I went top lane here, I would have forced Camille to back off. I would have created a situation in which my Garen would have been first on a play. Mid lane would have been already first on a play. So basically I would have spent this 20 seconds to create an ability for my lanes to move first, and then I would have started the Rift Herald on a spawn. If for some reason Shaco would have tried to contest it, he would have just jumped blindly into this space where I would have cut him out, and since my side lanes would have been already pushed into opposing towers, my Garen and Gangplank immediately moved to me and collapsed on the Shaco that would have contested the Rift Herald, just like it happened in this situation. The second situation that is ironically happened earlier during this game, but because it was more important for my understanding of the concept that I'm trying to show you, I chose the situation second in this video. So as you can see, I'm farming my camps and I see that my mid lane is getting ganked. I'm trying to help him for whatever reason. We have a random skirmish, doesn't really matter what happens here, but I get chunked very low. So at this moment I ask myself, okay, if I was Shaco, what would I have done here? In my mind, it is kind of an obvious decision for him to invade me and try to kill me, especially since he's an assassin champion. He thinks that my camp is not farmed, and to be honest, it is not farmed fully. I still have to farm two raptors, two small raptors. Also, my red buff is coming soon, in 20 seconds to be certain. So Shaco probably wants to kill me, get this camp, and get a huge lead. So because of it, I'm playing incredibly scared, incredibly safe. I ping towards the bush, I get my raptors as I autopilot into a top side, but then I see that hey, Shaco is indeed coming to me. I also see that hey, my buff isn't coming in 10 seconds. This yellow icons that you can see on the map means it comes in 10 seconds. So I turn back and ping my, as you can see on the mini map again, I ping my teammates to come over, help me in this buff. My support immediately moves, my ADC for some reason is behind. Now again, I have Oracle, so I'm kind of safe here, or at least I believe so, because my support is almost here. But Shaco makes the first move and barely kills me. I basically died to a last tick of Ignite. Or maybe one of the last ticks of Ignite. Luckily, Shaco dies. Now, you can say that I mechanically misplayed here, right? I went in a little bit too early. I should have waited for my support to come closer to me. But again, mechanical misplays happen, you should fix them. But I think the most important thing during the replay analysis is to think of a big picture. Try to understand what did I do fundamentally wrong in this situation. And so I remember in this game I was really mad at Jhin. I didn't understand why he so late to this play. I saw him having a prio in his lane. In my mind he could have been the first to display. So in my mind, if he was right here right now, like over here, he probably would have one shot this Shaco with something like QW crit auto, which he has by the way, and I would have survived. So usually I don't do this, but this time I've decided, okay, I'm an ADC player, right? What would have I done in this situation if I played Jhin? And let's see what Jhin does in this situation. Jhin clears minions, he sees his support leaving, he sees his junglers pumping on a minimap, help me, but instead of moving, he decides to clear the 3 minions, which is effectively, I think, a 56 gold. And at this moment I finally understood what does it mean to be a first on a play. Like, I asked myself, okay, what if I would have done as Jhin in this situation? And my honest answer to myself was, for sure, I would have cleared the 3 minions. Basically, this means that I would have valued that 56 gold way higher than being first in a play. And this is a bit disaster. This is a big mistake that I should fix in my gameplay. 56 gold won't win me the game. But think about it. Think about the jungler. What if the jungler survived here? What if the jungler got the red buff? What are the chances that he would have influenced the map positively and he would have done some damage to the opposing team? Maybe he took the river camp and blue buff camp. Maybe he would have cleared into top side and ganked top side with the red buff, right? So effectively he's kind of throwing the game for 56 gold. And I don't blame him, but rather I blame myself, because these decisions to not sacrifice 1 to 3 millions of gold, refusing to sacrifice them in order to be first on a play. I make these decisions a few times during each game. And imagine if I wouldn't been so greedy and ignorant and thought to myself, okay, my jungler needs me, my mid laner needs me, my team needs me. It is not worth to sacrifice a possible winning fight for the, I don't know, 21 to 56 gold. Maybe I would have won way more games. I don't know, 2-3 more % win rate, which usually equates to like 2-3 divisions higher, right? So yeah, this is the moment where I realized that being first on a play is more important than a small amounts of gold or something like that. Let's summarize everything I showed and told you today. Having prior means having control over the minion wave. Different lanes create prior for themselves in different ways. When you play Sivir or Victor, you create prior by instantly farming the whole minion wave. When you play Leona or Fizz, you create prior by threatening an all-in, which forces your opponent to back off from the minion wave. Having prior makes you have a higher tempo than your opponent. Having a higher tempo means that you can move to a certain part of a map faster than your opponent. Basically, a higher tempo allows you to be first on a play. And this play can be very different. Sometimes it's getting vision at a crucial part of a map. Sometimes it's setting up an ambush. Sometimes it's taking an objective. And sometimes it's defending your teammate. How can you use all this information in your games? Well, regardless of your matchup, try to identify windows when you have prior and think if you can use this prior to create a tempo for your team. Also, get used to giving up something to get the tempo. Don't be a player that always farms the whole wave before moving to his team when they started a random fight. But also, don't be a player that always gives up a minion wave to move towards them. Instead, analyze the situation and ask yourself, what decision has a higher chance to get me a win? Sometimes you want to give up the minion wave because the fight is too important for the state of the game. On the other hand, sometimes you don't care if your team will win the fight, because it's more important for you to get your item power spike as fast as possible. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it will help you win a lot of games. As always, likes, comments and subscriptions help the channel a lot. Have a wonderful day.